my friends, Coco Zurita. Dude, I'm excited.
We made it, bro.
We did it. We've been talking about this one for a couple months now, huh?
It's been about 2-3 months. I was back in Chile.
Yeah. I'm really excited on this episode because you live this really rad life that I feel like I know you more as a friend than I do like the sponsors that you ride for, the specific things you do. But on a friend level and what I've seen you do, it's like so kind and genuine. And I don't know if I've had a guest quite like you on the podcast. And I'm really excited for it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It's all about enjoying life, and life goes, it passes way too fast to not enjoy it. So
yeah.
So I'm like, the older I get, the more I am in a rush to
really
make moves and to make things happen, because you start realizing that it's really moving fast.
Yeah. I was saying something about that. Of the only, like, one of the regrets, if I had any in life, is just if I knew something in my gut that I knew it for too long before I did it. And the thing that I learned is the only thing we don't have and can't buy back is time, which is something that a lot of people talk about, but I feel you. And the older I get, it becomes more real.
Yeah, totally. You're more conscious too. As you grow up, as you get more mature, a bunch of things happen. Things start clicking in your head, and all of a sudden you're like, crap.
Yeah.
It's time to make moves.
Yeah. Or injuries too. Like now in my age, like I've even had like a surgery on my leg, and you like realize the healing process, and you really you appreciate how an able body is such a blessing.
Yeah, totally. Or how after you messed up your body, you look back and you're like, crap, this is what everybody was talking about. Like being older and in pain.
Yeah.
It happens, so whatever.
Well, okay. So to start it off though, the way that I typically start this podcast is for a listener who doesn't know who you are and what you do, a quick explanation of how you would explain who you are and what you do. And then we'll take it back to the early days.
So real quick, I was born in Chile. When I was 20 years old, I moved to the States just to work as a salesman selling water filters. So I moved to USA, to Texas with $800, work as a salesman. Then because I wanted to pursue the dream of becoming a pro athlete on a bike. 6 months later, I connected with the BMX world, and then I started climbing the ladder, training, moved to California after I worked on the filters, and then moved to Woodward West, which is outside of LA, biggest training camp in the world for BMX skate. Like that's where Checkler, like Tony Hawk, and Hoffman and all these guys kind of like learned. So I was like, I need to be there. So I moved there, and then I started training my ass off. I didn't even know about Hollywood. Like seriously, I didn't care about Hollywood.
You moved all the way out west. So I just Woodward. All you knew was Woodward.
From Texas straight to Hermosa Beach, where my boss used to live. We used to do BMX shows, and then from then I moved right up to the mountains where Woodward Camp is. And dude, I skipped everything in between. I didn't care. Yeah, I just simply didn't care about like the freeways here, that beach over there, the Malibu and Santa Monica and Venice, and the cool restaurant and the cool cars and the cool people. Where's the spot and this and that? Yeah. Dude, I just didn't care about any of that. I didn't even know the streets or anything. I just wanted to ride my bike. And that's what I did. It was awesome. Because there's a lot of distraction here in the city.
Definitely.
Girls, drugs, parties, events. You name it, everything.
It's the coolest version of all of the things.
It's crazy, yeah. It's like you got like the best of everything, but also the worst of everything too. So both crazy worlds together. And then I was in a safe place in the mountain, in middle of nowhere by myself, just riding and training, just flying to the entire world. Like I was flying to Europe, Korea, Tokyo, Asia, freaking.
This is
everywhere.
So already in your story. I'm like, wait, holy crap. So born in Chile, you don't come to the States until you're 20 years old?
I was 19.
Okay.
So I left home when I was 18.
Did you ride at home?
Right, so yeah,
you had to have, right?
I learned riding when I was 14 years old. That's when I started it.
Oh, so that's actually, though, that's not even that young.
No, 14. So within 5 years, I was like this is my thing. I
It was
love
just
it.
it. You
Instant,
knew.
right?
You knew.
Instant. In 3 years, I wanted to go to the States.
Yeah.
In 4 years, I was dying because I really wanted to go. And my mom was like, dude, you have to study. It's like, that's a question that every kids get when they're like 16, 15, 16, 17. What do you want to do when you grow up? Where do you want to study?
Yeah.
Or what university?
Yeah.
You know, like what state do you want to go to, bro?
Right. Exactly.
Like,
That's so much a thing.
In Chile, the same crap. And I was like, nowhere.
You just knew. You're like, no, that's not it.
You know, I'm gonna look. I said I'm gonna look at the list of options that I want that I have.
Yeah.
But then I was like, dude, you're supposed to love what you're doing. You're supposed to like what you're doing. And I was like, for me, the full version of loving or liking something, it was riding my bike.
Yeah.
So the bar was way up high.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the list of careers, I was like, dude, there's nothing that really came anywhere close to BMX. So I was like, you know what? Following my guts and my feelings, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should stick to what I really like and at least try it. I told my mom, if I fail, I'll come back in a year or two. Just with 21 years old, I'll come back, 22, 23, whatever. I'll come back, study whatever you want, mom.
Wow.
I turned around and left. But obviously in my head, I was like, there's no way I will come back. There's no way. Right. I'm never not coming back.
At that time, like growing up, like could you see that there were other people that had a career in pro BMX? Or was that like a foreign
just
idea?
In magazines, videos, and the internet. That's it. But in Chile, there was couple of guys, but they will just be pros for a little while and then kind of like fade away.
Because that's the thing is sometimes I think that like growing up in the States, maybe we don't realize that we have that privilege of just like all the pros, all the celebrities, not all, but like a huge majority are here. So as a kid, you're like, oh, I could do this thing and it's all in the States. Where like, I that must be wild growing up in a different country. Like, is it less common? Are parents more reluctant to say go chase that because there's just less of it?
I don't know. It's just different. It's just scary because like you got to leave behind your friends, your family, your childhood, your neighborhood, your mom and dad, pets, uncles, friends from all over, everything. So
it's a full reset.
Your currency, your language. So it's a full reset in a way. So
and at 19 years old, you committed to that.
Yeah. So because I was like, dude, fuck, I'm going late. Because the guys with 16 are killing it. So I had a lot of pressure on my conscious, my self-conscious constantly every day. It was like, dude, I got to train. I got to ride. I need to go. I will see a new video and the guys will be killing it here in the States or a new competition. Oh my God, this guy learned a new trick. Crap. I'm like 18 and he's 19 and he's destroying it. I'm like, well, I still have a year. So whatever. Or this other kid that's 2 years younger than me. I'm like, crap. I'm like, that's insane. They're killing it. And I'm here in Chile wasting my life.
Oh my. So you by the time you left, you're like, I need to get to the States.
Exactly.
Okay. So and then you get to
I'll do whatever it takes.
Yeah. So speaking of whatever it takes, how did you end up in Texas selling water filters? That's insane.
We had a couple of options. Like we thought about going to Canada because we had a place to stay there.
Yeah.
We had a place in Australia.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, those two places, it didn't work out for some reason. And out of nowhere, a dude came out from Texas. Hey, dude, I got a hookup in Texas that can receive me and a good friend. My friend was a little older. He was
you were
24.
saying we, so it was you and a friend that were going out?
Yeah, so he was 24 and I was 18 at the moment. So I was like, Mom, I'm going with this dude. He's older, my friend from childhood.
Yeah.
And we're going to be fine together. So, okay, cool. Yeah, sure, whatever. You know, my mom was super open, super helpful. We just left. And he left first, got there, straight to work, selling water filters to the house with a little presentation to Mexican people in Spanish. And then 2 months later, I was like, dude, is it cool? How's it 2 months going for you? You making money? Yeah, dude, it's sick. Let's go. Okay, so I flew there right after Christmas, got off the plane straight into the work.
You came out here with like $800.
So I came with $800, my bike and a bag of clothing, and that's it. And I was like, that's fine. That will make me go by at least for a month or 2 months
Yeah.
or
And that's
three
all you
months.
needed.
You
You were
know?
just like in.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm gonna get here not to do on vacations, to go shopping or mess
Yeah.
around, this and that. I was like, dude, with a mission. If I can make money there and have a job, I guarantee I can just ride my bike and stay there for as long as I want.
Yeah.
So I was like, that was the mission. I've always thought the worst thing that could ever happen in life is like, bro, you're getting a job at McDonald's.
Mm. Just off of like
and
the
you
like
can
the,
work at
the
McDonald's
settling.
and make money. So I was like, I always thought like just whatever I wanted to do, just send it. The worst thing you
Oh,
could
I get what you're saying.
you-
Literally, the worst thing that could happen is you have to go work a job like
at
McDonald's.
exactly. So I was
Whatever.
like, dude, whatever you do in life is like, if you fail, doesn't matter. You can always go back to the beginning, get a job at McDonald's, and start over.
Wow, that's cool.
But obviously,
So
you
haven't
most likely you
viewed-
want.
Right, but like you haven't viewed failure as this like devastating thing. You're just like, okay, so the worst thing that happens is you start over.
Exactly. I've
Yeah.
always said that to me. Yeah, because I had nothing.
Right.
I had
You
nothing. at
knew
the
what
moment.
nothing was. You knew what starting over
Well,
was.
kind of nothing because I have my bike and connections and people and,
yeah, but
and
like
the $800.
that's basically nothing.
But for me, the $800 was a shit tons of money.
yeah.
And the ticket, just buying the ticket for like $700 and having the $800 in the pocket, I was like, I'm chilling, bro.
Yeah.
I could eat noodles for
Yeah.
6 months, bro.
Oh my God. So,
So,
your
I
dedication
didn't
to what you
care.
were doing, like you had already committed. You had jumped off the deep end as soon as you get into the States. It's not here to mess around. It's not here to party.
Uh-huh.
Like you are going to grow as an athlete.
Yeah.
And you are
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go pro.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then what happened? How did you do that? What's that step by step? Are you at the park riding in Texas all
Yeah,
the
I was
time?
just
or
riding a
like-
lot. I mean, when we were working, we were with my friend. He was super vicious about working. So we'll work from Monday through Friday and then ride my bike Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes only 2 days in the weekend, which
Yeah.
killed me because I want to ride every day.
Yeah.
But my friend wanted to make money. So I was trying to be responsible with him and also keep myself happy. It was a little frustrating for sure, but
yeah. And how long
after-
did that last?
after 3, 5, 6 months,
Yeah.
somewhere like that, I started connecting with people, the
Okay.
locals. We became friends with a lot of people in Texas. Everybody
Sick.
was super nice. And then bicycle company was like, dude, we're doing a show. Dude didn't make it. Can you come? I was like, hell yeah, I'll be there. Boom.
yeah.
I show up. They love me. They call me again and again and again and again. All of a sudden, I signed the papers, a contract with GT bicycles.
GT?
Yeah,
That's
which is
huge.
Crazy, yeah. So it was so super awesome. And then we started touring around the States. Hey, dude, we're going to Alabama. Okay, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to freaking Arizona. And then we started touring. All of a sudden, we're going to California. And my boss that used to live in Texas,
Yeah.
the manager of the team,
Yeah.
fell in love with Hermosa Beach.
Oh.
Because here in California is where GT bicycle was.
Yeah, and isn't a
So-
lot of like action sports even a little more south, like Carlsbad and like a lot?
Oh, huge.
Yeah,
huge,
yeah. So to be in Hermosa Beach, to be in just this
It's
general
just in the
area is
scene.
good for the industry.
He liked it. He
Yeah.
just liked it. He wanted to live at the beach. That's
Yeah,
it, you know.
yeah.
And then we were just tagging along. We sleep in his couch between shows instead
Yeah.
of going back to Texas. We will just stay here, save money.
How big was
just,
GT at the time? As a kid, for
GT
me,
was big.
yeah,
Paying big salary to pro athletes and all that, and they had this huge like professional athlete shows
yeah.
doing tours throughout the states. We had like a badass dually, like a
Oh,
F350,
yeah,
brand
yeah.
new, bro. 2 of them with trailers with the ramps.
Yeah.
So we had 2 teams touring around different places, tackling different shows, and
So were you just like,
and
dude, I made it?
I
Like,
was
were
like,
you just
this
like,
is-
this is
this
it?
is
We're
sick.
here.
This is like next level. Yeah. So I was riding the shows, and then in
Yeah.
between, I'll just go ride woodwork camp.
Right.
On
That's
and on
you
and on.
getting here, skipping Hollywood, saying, I got to go
Yeah,
ride.
just for many, many years, I did that and didn't care. I found a little car. Well, in Texas, I bought a Ford Ranchero 68.
Okay.
Super sick car. Then when I moved then I sold it for $1,500. Then I bought for
Damn.
$500 an Acura Legend. So
Sick.
sick. I loved it. You know why? Because it had like the square lights in the
Yup.
front.
Yup.
Super boxy, kind of like the R34.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, this is actually sick.
Yeah.
Like, the water pump was bad. So I fixed it and I ended up paying like $1,800 for a dope car that I
Yeah.
drove for many, many years.
Oh my
And
God.
I was going back to the mountain, back and forth on that car. It was awesome.
Okay, so this part in your life, how old are you by then?
But then I was like 22.
Okay, so that's like
23.
2 or 3 years of being in the States.
Yep.
And like that to me, like I toured with bands. Like I never knew what it was like to tour on like the action sports circuit, but like pro skaters go on tours, they film parts, BMX goes on tours, film parts, do shows, all that. I'm so curious of this exact era because emotionally and for you, like, could you tell like your dream kind of came true, right? Like that's riding
totally.
for GT touring, like,
well, in a way,
like, did you still have to prove it? Were you good? Like at that point, were you pro? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so we were here in like a middle part of the sport.
Yeah.
And above us, you had like the pro athletes that all they had to do was just to get up, go ride, train, and go to the contest. And travel and all that.
So that it wasn't that.
So for me, doing the shows was great because it was money. I was riding my bike, but maybe I was riding too much on the shows, which means riding your bike in times that you not necessarily want to ride, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, this could kill the joy of riding the bike.
Yeah.
Or the purpose in a way. So, but I was always super positive. I'm Christian, believe in God a lot, you know? So that's also one of the things that helped me go through all these like troubles and kind of taking the positive, good, faithful path instead of like staying in the streets of Santiago, like doing stupid stuff, you know, and or drugs or drinking and all that. So in a way, also when I was doing shows, I was super thankful. I was like, I don't love it, I hate it, but at times, because dude, we have to build the ramps, heavy ass ramp, and all of a sudden the guys will be like, yeah, you got to be in 4 days in New York, and we're in LA. Okay, guys, we got to change the tires on the trailer and truck. We got to take it to like Jiffy Lube and this and that. We got to pick up the ramps, the new ramps, swap the banners and this and that.
Yeah.
They're getting delivered.
So you were grinding. Like that was still work.
So yeah. So tomorrow we do all the work. And the day after at 7 a.m., we leave to go to New York.
Damn.
3 days driving straight.
Okay, so that era, like, yes, you were around all the stuff you loved, but you weren't pro. It wasn't like you had the cushy, cool, I just get to show up and ride.
No
like,
way. Yeah, no.
Got it.
It was pretty rough. It was amazing. Like from where I started, it was like amazing always, right? But it was definitely heavy grinding, and then I wasn't content or happy or satisfied yet because I wanted to leave at Woodward Camp or close by, and I wanted to be dedicated to like get up, eat healthy food, and just go ride my bike for however long I want.
Yeah.
Any day I want. That I remember I used to pray about that. I was like, God, you know what? All I want is just be able to get up, build my own schedule, eat healthy food, be able to afford healthy food, and just go ride my bike because I enjoy it and I love it, you know. So because we had to do like about 45 shows a year.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting
with
because
traveling included and all that.
So that reminds me of touring. Like you almost had. I know that life of like
touring is rough.
Exactly.
I toured with the guys from the Warp Tour.
Wait, okay, that was like me. That was like you toured like riding BMX
because they had the half pipe. They used to do the half pipe show.
Yes.
So I did it. We didn't tour here, but we did the tour in Australia.
Oh.
So in Australia, they did a 4 cities stop.
Yep.
And in between each city, we will traveling with all the bands.
Oh my God, that's so
dude,
crazy.
we were freaking in a bus, and the guys from The Used
Yeah.
like two seats ahead of us.
Dude, that's so
Offspring was
funny.
like in a different bus, and
That's like totally my
like
world. Like that's
all
how,
those
like when
guys,
you talk about tour, I think about like in vans before
Melancholy.
buses, but like I did Warped Tour. Like that was like my, yeah.
Dude, when I saw that Melancholy, like is that how you say it's spelled Melancholy? I mean, they're from like the punk, like with
That's so
the
crazy because I know
used
every other
and
band you said, but they were a part of it. Millen
so
Collin. It was Millen Collin.
so those guys. And then I was like, because I kind of grew up, they were all in all these BMX videos, all these
Yeah.
bands, they were in the
Yeah.
BMX and skate videos. So
Yes.
when I came here, like, well, that was like 10 years later.
Right.
I'm touring with those guys, and I was like, that's pretty sick. But I'm like, that's kind of crappy that we're in a freaking 7-hour bus,
Yeah. Yeah.
sweaty and
Yeah, dude.
fucking
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Dude.
But whatever, we're living the life, we're loving it. We show up to a new
Exactly.
city, we have food, music, sports, hanging out, and just kind of living the life in a super positive way.
Well, okay, so that's an interesting time for me to say this because when you pulled up today, it was like the perfect all-encompassing moment of exactly why I wanted to talk to you. And I was so excited to hear your story because I wanted to hear what got you to this point. And I don't think it's lost on you at all. And there's still more of your story, but it's so inspiring and cool to me to see the life you're living now. Because you live the dream life of like when I was growing up. Like, granted, maybe I was a little more skateboarding, although my first AOL handle was GT Dino 5000.
Oh,
So
wow, you
I was,
had one,
yeah.
huh?
Oh, no, I wanted one. I wished I had
Oh, you
one. So I
wanted.
manifested.
Oh,
Yeah. But like I always like the idea of like pro athlete and then cars and then like music
Oh,
around
yeah,
that.
yeah. Mhm.
And you know, you pull up in your cool ass built GTR, like you did it, like you're pro, you ride, like you have incredible sponsors, right? Like we know each other with Red Bull and like you did it at the top level. And I see it and I'm like, that's the dream. But clearly, dude, you risked everything and you did everything. You worked so hard to get there. But it's just so rad to have someone like yourself with the attitude that you have that is living that life, because I find
Thanks,
that
man.
so
It
encouraging.
means a lot. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, a lot of work, a lot of years. too.
Right. And I'm learning that
It's
now
been
where I'm
20
like, oh,
I've been 21 years over my bike. So it's been like, I should have like five GTRs.
the math
21
still
years,
isn't
bro.
lined up.
Yeah, I always tell people, if you want to make money, you'll probably be a doctor or be a fucking lawyer or something,
Yeah.
But we're not in it by the money for the money.
No.
We're just in it because we love it.
Well,
with
and I
passion.
feel that now.
And
So
then but yeah, I can't complain. Throughout the years, throughout life, I've always had to hustle and find a way to put food on my plate.
yeah.
And also then one thing I learned from God was like every opportunity you have, you kind of want to multiply it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be given an opportunity and just kind of like take it, use it, and then leave it. You always want to like grab it and just find ways of multiplying and grow it and expand it, because that's when you really take advantage of it. You kind of like use what God has given you, and also you're capable to help anybody around you with
That's
that.
so beautiful.
I mean, if you don't take advantage of that, then you might be able to help maybe one people or two. But if you really take advantage and multiply that blessing, you can help as many people as you want, So
Well, dude, like that's what's so cool about you to me is like you're one of those people where like I meet you, I see you, and your life is matched with hard work and this wonderful attitude where you treat people right. And clearly you work hard and you have this beautiful perspective. And I knew a little bit about this, but I just wanted to hear more about it. Right. Like
That's
that.
awesome.
It's really encouraging to hear. So where in your life then, going back to your story a little bit, where does it start to look up? Like, do you have a moment, like, I guess in the silliest term, do you have a moment where you go pro and you're just like, cool, I made it, we're good? Or was it not so
So
simple?
no, I still haven't made it in my head. I'm like still wanna. There's things that I want to accomplish as an athlete, but there has never been a point where I'm like I made it. Even when I won the world championship or I got a X Games medal or two, I was like, shit, okay, boom, put it aside, put it on the freaking drawer, okay,
Really? Because
put it with the silverware.
okay,
Boom, here,
because that's
then let's go. Okay, what's next?
but like, bro,
Like,
you have to realize how insane that is to hear from me because I
yeah,
think we all have a bad habit of like, as soon as we accomplish something, it's on to the next. But I haven't won an X Games medal.
yeah.
I feel like that's a thing that anyone could be
crazy.
like, I'll take a second and realize that like, that's it. We did it. But that's so nuts to hear, even at that level, to be like X Games medal, put it in the drawer. We're going again. Like,
Yeah,
fuck, dude.
it's in our head so much. You breathe it, you think it, you eat it, you sleep it, you dream it, you everything. So when it comes and it finally happen, it is already in you.
Yeah.
The metal becomes part of you way before that. So by the time you get the medal, it's like, okay, cool, we did. It's amazing. It's a blessing. I'm thankful. Boom, what's next? What's next? What's next? And then we are animals of competition,
Yeah.
especially us as athletes, so we're wired like that. So
Yeah.
whatever we do, we kind of take that same approach. And when we have a jump in front of us, you're forced to jump or don't jump at all,
Right.
So there's not like a middle ground. A lot of people that works in different industries there, or even in relationships, just people just can't really take leap of faith sometimes. But us as athletes, we're like, fuck it, send it.
Yeah.
Straight up. Just
Wow.
send it. Fuck it. Just pull the trigger.
So you
And
think that
it's
like
a lot easier for us to execute things in life because you do that so much.
yeah.
And out of 10, you fail 3, but the other 7 are successful. That then you continue to apply that in different areas of your life.
So straight up, like the full send attitude does become easier being an athlete and having to full send in literally what you do.
Exactly. Yeah, it becomes easier. It's still scary as hell. Like when I'm on my bike, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. The guy is next to me with the ESPN camera being like 10, 9, 4, 3. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. This is it. Send it. I don't care if I break my leg. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm just going to go full send
Just
out.
absolutely
Send it.
What are things in
like
life?
Deanna.
Send it, dude.
Yeah, I can relate very well to that because when you're on the exams rolling like about 19 feet from the ground, looking down with the cameras from ESPN, ready to go, that's what you said. Fuck, it's time to send it, bro. That's it. So
what are things in life that are scary for you? Like what's a
lot of things. The thing is, like, it's not that we don't feel fear. Like I get scared all the time. It's super normal.
Yeah.
The other day in my house, like my friend picked up a big old like snake.
Yeah.
He was chasing me around the house, and I was like with the towel of the shower running around. I was like, fuck, I shouldn't be scared of that, but I don't know, for some reason I was just scared.
Yeah.
We do feel fear, but I think I utilize fear as an instrument of motivation and
like a good
power
thing. Yeah.
in a positive way.
Yeah.
For the bike.
Yeah.
But I think fear is also helps you grab an impulse that will help you reach the other side. If you didn't have the fear, then you might not even have the impulse to make it.
Right.
So I think fear can be very helpful, if it's used in the right way.
Like that idea of like, if it scares you, you should probably do it. I guess that applies not to everything, but like that.
If it scares you, do it. Yeah. And also you feel accomplished. There's multiple things that come along with that will help you progress in life.
Yeah.
But
so your full send mentality has really applied all in all throughout.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, throughout the years, you become more calm, like I did that, and I seriously, like, I broke my legs like 3 times.
No
and
way.
I'm like,
actually,
crap. Like the full send needs to chill a little bit because a lot of the times when I do full send on the bike, I break something. So I have to be gentle with my body and play smarter, and then just do full sends in a different way. Just adjust yourself and this and that. So everybody, I think my best advice will be like, yeah, full send, but also be smart.
Right. That doesn't mean full send doesn't mean to be blind ignorance.
Or kill yourself.
You can be strategic. You can know what you're full sending, and you can know the right way to do it. But that moment where you're at the ramp, that drop in is still...
I mean, it is a full send, but I've been calculating that those 30s, because the run lasts about 30 seconds. But I'm like, yeah, it's a full send at the moment.
Yeah.
But after training for 6 months and spending 7 days a week in the gym and 7 days a week on the bike.
Yeah.
So it's like extremely calculated.
Right.
Like you're flying 14 foot over the coping of a 12-foot ramp, which means like, dude, you're like 26 feet from the ground and you're coming into an edge that's as sharp as a table, you know, like from 14 feet down, and you have to like land like freaking 1 centimeter off of that, you know. And so the memory muscle, the calculation, the speed and everything is super calculated. So now that me and you were talking about this, like, it's not really like a hardcore, like whatever, let's send it, you know. It's like
me going and sending that same run is a lot different from you.
Exactly. So it's like a super well professional calculated way of sending it, you know.
Yeah.
But
that metaphor exists.
But you do. But when you stand there, you know you have to give a 15-20% extra that you haven't tapped into on training.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah, like
so
that difference.
In training, we're going to 85%, 90, which is a lot for training. But when you're on the ramp, you're aiming for 100, 105, 110, kind of like the heat this week, you know. You gotta aim for 105, 110% when you're in the ramp. So, and that's like an untouched territory.
You can't train for that. There's like something different.
Your head is it's been there in your thoughts, in your dreams. It's been there. It roamed around those territories before, but physically you've never been there.
But I bet you when you hit that, like when you are in that run where you're like, I'm about to win a medal, like I bet you that extra percent, you're so locked and you probably feel it, huh?
Yeah, you with adrenaline, testosterone and all, there's a huge hormonal like movement going inside your body. Your mind's locked into the spot. You don't hear anything, you just don't feel anything. I mean, all you feel is just adrenaline and just this power. And I'm like, you just don't care about anything else. I just play my music.
I was gonna ask, do you
use headphones all the time for riding, training, gym, car, always music. Even for the loud car now, I use headphones.
Really?
Just to ride with music.
Just so you have it.
I love it. And then riding my bike is the same thing. I gotta change the playlist every so often because you get used to the playlist. It doesn't give you the hype anymore. So you're like, okay, let's swap it. Boom, next.
What do you listen to? What kind of genres do you find yourself in? Do you bounce around? Do you have
go through phases like hip hop and old rock, like heavy rock, like doom, like desert, blues sometimes, electronic. I even through a pandemic, I stole my brother's playlist from reggaeton.
Oh wow,
trap.
Yeah, so you'll listen.
I was like, that's cool. Yeah, whatever. It's just really cool to do. Kind of break the system in your head a little bit. But I really like rock. And electronic. Those are my favorite genres.
That's so sick. That's so cool. As you were saying that, it made me think of something that like at a very young age when I was skateboarding, I think I was probably like 13, but it was at the skate park and I spent the whole day at the top of, it was probably like a 4 foot, maybe 5, 6 foot, but like,
let me guess, trying to drop in.
Yeah. But dude, it's like, it's an analogy in life that I've carried with me forever.
I hated those moments, bro.
Because that, like, your first day that you're going to drop in, you're gonna fall.
It sucks, dude.
And you're just sitting at the top of the ramp. And if you don't full send it, you're gonna fall. If you don't stomp down and commit, you're gonna fall. And that lesson has carried with me in life forever.
Oh, okay.
Like you just have to drop, like if you're gonna drop in,
Do it,
stomp,
yeah.
full commit. And hearing you say all of that is like that on such a crazier level.
It's the same. Yeah.
It's really
Like,
beautiful.
dude, like they used to have a mega ramp,
Yeah.
which is like the big giant ramp. It's like a 70-foot gap
Yeah.
to a 30-foot quarter pipe, 28 to be exact.
Wait, say that again. I got lost in the
28.
conversation. I wasn't thinking about that. How
This
long?
is like a 20-foot gap jump. You start on a massive hill. You're rolling like full speed. Then you get like this massive 70-foot gap.
Yeah.
Or there was 3. The
Yeah.
50, the 60, and the 70.
Yeah.
And then jumps to choose from. They're all massive.
50, 60,
And then
and 70.
A 28-foot quarter pipe. So
What is that, like 3 stories? More?
Yeah, about I
Yeah.
want to say about 3. It's like a light pole, like
my
top of a light pole. Insane, dude. Seriously, every time my friends wanted to ride that, probably happened like 2-3 times a year. I liked it because I'm a big ramp rider, but
Yeah.
couldn't say no. I was like, crap, let's go, let's do it, But that was seriously like the worst breakfast in my life. Just eating breakfast in the morning,
Thinking
getting
about
ready that you have to go there. Then being there so fast, you're just flooring it for the longest time going down. It's like Bob Burnquist's house, same thing.
Oh, whoa.
Longest time, all of a sudden you get launch.
Yeah.
Then you land, and all of a sudden you got this massive wall that you just have to hold on to, do nothing weird, and just let the ramp take you. I remember doing like a 16-foot air. That's the highest I've gone.
Yeah.
Dude, after seeing the photos, the moment was super terrifying, but after seeing pictures, how it looked, I was like, crap, that's amazing. I was like, dude, this is so sick. I love it. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, again, it's like you have to constantly scare yourself on the bike in order for you to progress.
Yeah.
It sucks, And as you get older, you also start developing more fears,
Right.
and head issues and injuries issues. So
that's a real thing.
The human gets more complicated.
Yeah.
Overall, like I don't know what it is. I think the luggage that you start accumulating throughout life.
Yeah.
Luggage and pressure and insecurities and fears, anxieties, and things to do as well,
Yeah.
So
that's interesting to hear you say that, because I think everybody goes through that. I think everybody feels that. I certainly know it, and it's weird because you can look back to a version of yourself without that and see like the full send. And you're like, get back to that. But I think like when you see, like when you know what the break feels like, you're like,
totally. Yeah. And for
it's
us
hard.
as athletes, it's pretty sensitive because our identity is attached to our sport most of the time. Not many people knows how to detach that and understand that I am Coco, a dude, a nice, cool dude that likes the bike and likes the cars and traveling and this and that.
Yeah.
You are not like the bicycle human.
Right. Yeah. Like you're not just a human bicycle. Yeah.
This is who you are and this is what you do.
Yeah.
So which is kind of like whether you're with whatever Red Bull, Vans, whatever sponsor you have.
Yeah.
Or you're not with any of them.
Yeah.
You're still going to be
you're still you.
The person, you're still you. So that's something that, it's also society and the system works. It's kind of toxic that as soon as a basketball player or a soccer player stop playing, like, okay, let's pull him out of the throne.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you're a normal human being, bro. Your VIP pass expired.
Yeah. But don't you think, to me from the outside looking in, I think you have a competitive advantage of being the kid that came here with nothing to lose and all you wanted was this dream. Like, I think that you have this tenacity, this drive that is more than like others, where it's not lost on you how rad this is. And I see your work ethic and the way that you do look at this. And I think that you really have something there, no? Like you were saying, like time.
Totally, yeah. No, I mean, I've done a lot, and I see the past, and I'm like, if I could go back, I could adjust this and that and this and that, But overall, I've been blessed with having the right people around me to ground me and also take care of me and to guide me as well. So I'm just blessed that that I've done what I've done so far. So I'm just super accomplished, super
Yeah.
accomplished. But at the same time, now it's kind of hard to find things that motivate you a lot too.
Well, okay, so that was my next question
That's
though.
sketchy. That's
Well,
weird. Yeah.
my next question
It's
was
like,
again, like you're kind of this dude that I really look up to because you're like living that dream that I saw so vividly in my head of like extreme sports and cars and like you're just a part of like my favorite parts of
yeah.
culture. So outside of, detaching Coco from just okay, cool, you're real nice on a bike, you're also like really deep into cars. And as of
Totally.
pretty recently, like you've built, I mean, we met because of race service
Mm-hmm.
through an incredible party at the shop.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like, that's where I was like, oh my God, what a kind, wonderful human. Right. And
Thank
that
you.
friendship really started there. But I also saw like you're so authentic to even car culture. Like, it seems like everything you do, you really go all in and learn it and do it right. Like, you're out there wrenching on your GTRs. Like, you're really like, it seems like you master these things so
I
well.
try, not many things. I only try to master the things that I'm really into, that I love. I kind of like just copy paste the same passion I had on the bike.
Mm.
Just copy paste what other thing I like to do kind of equally to the bike.
Hmm.
And I find it and I just stick to that. In this case, cars.
Yeah.
For sure, cars. My dad used to race when he was younger.
Oh,
When he
cool.
was young, then he was building cars like the touring cars,
Yeah.
like the
Like what kind of cars?
like the old Le Mans
Oh, Le
cars,
Mans
but
cars.
but
Yeah.
not Le Mans. But actually, it was in Chile, like a serious car, like
Wow. But like full on race cars.
uh, full on race car. Yes, full
Yeah.
on race cars.
Yeah.
Like doing body of fiberglass and stuff like that. So things
Cool.
like that, and then I was like, I never got to see that, but I heard about that so much.
Yeah.
And when I was born and I grew up, he was super deep into car, and all his friends were into cars. So we were always around cars, cars, cars. So that kind of got stuck in my head big time. Machines like motorcycles, like aircraft carriers with the F-16s and F-14s and all these crazy planes. So anything that will have a machine and engineer, a purpose, he loved it, and I did. I
Yeah.
did too.
Yeah.
So I got super into that. When I moved to the States, started working with GT, I bought my first Ranchero in Texas.
Yep.
Then I bought the Acura.
Yeah.
And then like 6, 7 years later, I started doing really good in contest, and I
Mm.
had some cash in my pocket. I had like 10 G's that I
Mm.
wanted to spend on a car, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just buy a Evo 9.
You got an
And I was
Evo?
like, that's like my dream car right now. So I was
Yeah.
like, crap, let's go, let's try to get it, let's try to get it. So my friend co-signed me because I didn't have any credit,
Right.
and
Right.
then but I had the money, no problem. And then he signed me, and I bought the Evo, dude. And I can't. In Chile, I grew up playing around on a Ford Ranger rear wheel drive
Yeah.
V6,
Yeah.
the Splash, the yellow one.
Yeah.
So I'll take it out in the rain. I
Yeah.
was like 16, 17, 18. I'll take it on the rain on roundabouts
Mm-hmm.
and try to
And
slide
drifted
it.
a little. Yeah.
Yeah, I was super into that. Even though drifting wasn't a thing, I just, what else are you gonna do?
Right.
You're
You
gonna
kind
go,
of figure
you're
out the
gonna
way it
strain
drives and
yeah, you're gonna strain a car, go straight as fast as you can on a truck like that, kind of 200,000 miles, like
Yeah.
force splash, and like that with used tires and
Yeah.
used brakes, and every part that we bought for the truck was used.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have some used good used disc brakes? You have some good used brake pads? You got tires? Right? We had no money, so we're like,
Yeah.
"Why?"
Wow.
So I
dude,
was
you
like,
started from the
going
bottom.
straight on that truck. I was like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I was like, what's fun, other than going fast? Because I mean, yeah, I was racing little Peugeots or Citroens,
Yeah.
and then I was like trying to slide it in the corners, and that was super fun. I would get my heart going like crazy, like super, like I'll be shaking,
Like even different from riding, like just like a different adrenaline.
difference.
Yeah.
For some reason, it got hooked on my head big time. So I love driving. I bought the Evo in the States, here in Costa Mesa, and Beach Boulevard, Mitsubishi. Bought the
Dude.
car. After 4 hours being there, finally got it approved.
What color?
And bought it as a white Evo 9 with
Nice.
like 40,000 miles.
Yeah.
3 months later, I crashed it.
No.
I went down on a cliff, down by Woodward Camp, down on a cliff, racing my friend with the STI.
No.
Down a cliff, bro. Luckily, we didn't roll the car. We just went down straight down the hill, hit a tree. And luckily, we hit the tree kind of going down. So the tree helped us straining down the car.
Oh.
So then we went down. I was stomping on the brake. The car wouldn't even stop. And then the fire lane saved us.
Oh.
And then, yeah, the car was full total.
Did it like give you a whole different appreciation of life after that? Like, did that like fuck you
Not
up?
my life.
No.
No, I didn't care about that. But you know what? I was like, I didn't appreciate the car. I risked the people because could have been people coming in the oncoming traffic, a family with a minivan. That I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about my friend that was passenger here. And then that was one of like those full moments, full send moments.
Too much full send
like,
without strategy.
No, you can't do that. And God gave me the opportunity to buy this car because I loved it. I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing the opposite of what I'm supposed to do, multiplying this. I just crushed it. And I destroyed it. Destroyed it, you know?
Right.
I was like,
you subtracted.
Literally, you subtracted from the equation. So luckily the coverage came and paid for the car when I bought a Evo 10.
Oh, crazy.
I really liked it right there. So 0 miles, brand new car. And then that's when my car career started because I started modifying the car. And then Bucky Lasek.
I was just going to ask if you knew Bucky Lasek.
So
very similar
he's into
career.
Cars, right?
Yes.
Skateboarding, bikes. And he's older. So I was like, dude, he's the man. He's like super professional. He won every contest out there and he's super into cars. When I met him, he had like a 997 turbo.
Sick.
Porsche.
Sick.
Amazingly fast.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude. And then Rune Gliffer, you know Rune Gliffer?
Yes.
He had a full M3, like a E80, E46.
No way.
E40 full
He's
track.
He's a car person too?
Yeah, full track car.
No way.
Like full cage, like more than Bucky. Like he had the suit, the sleeks, the full cage car, like not straightable at all by any means. And he was pulling it with a ML 550 Mercedes. So I was like, these guys are just in a whole nother level.
So like you being like pro rider, like hanging with them and seeing that, like even then you were like, oh, I got to step it up.
Yeah. So I was just starting to the world. And, hey, dude, we're doing at that moment when I was trying to finish the shows. Yeah. Vans comes, Jerry Batters from Vans comes and is like, dude, if you want to quit the shows, come to Vans. I'll sponsor you. I'll pay you every trip you have this year. Yeah. I pay you the hotels and food and travel and give you product for Vans. I was like, deal, where do I sign?
Yeah.
But then I left the shows. I was like, I'm not doing more shows. I'm just going to be focused on competition.
That's where it changed.
That was the
my God. I was going to ask that.
Point of changing, right? It was for me scary because I had a secure job and secure money every month doing shows for GT. Yeah. But then the competition, I don't know how it was going to go. Like if I get hurt tomorrow, like then I can ride. I can make any more money. So
wow. So that's actually probably a lot of pro athletes feel that.
It's sketchy. Yeah. Because I mean, you could go to 20 contests and then make no money.
Right. Because if you're killing it, then sick. You had a great year. You kill it.
And sadly, like top 10 make good money. So at that moment, I was like, okay, let's just go out and see what we can get.
Damn. Okay. So you commit to that. Yeah.
But I was getting like 16, 18th place. Top 20th. And that was like 500, 800.
Okay, so you could pay rent, but so it wasn't much.
Yeah. So I was chilling at the moment. And then this training place, Woodward Camp, they would let me stay there for free.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, this is perfect. No rent. And then I can make a little bit of money. Then after a while, I bought the car. and then I started touring with bands.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a very show in Virginia. We have a very show in Cuba.
Yeah.
And so I met all the bands guys: Caballero, Hosoi, Omar Hassan, Bucky Lasek, DMC, Simon Tavron, and all the guys putting a badass show. Like all the
Yeah.
legends from like Tony Hawk games.
What
and
about
all
Jeff
that.
Raleigh? Did you ever meet him?
No. Oh yeah, one time.
Yeah.
Just like hi and goodbye. That's
Yeah,
it.
sure, yeah.
He's a legend though. I wore his shoe a lot.
Yeah, they were sick.
And then we became really good friends with Bucky.
Yeah.
And then after like we were doing the Dew Tours
Yeah,
competitions.
Dew Tour. Yeah.
And then Bucky goes like, dude, I'm going to Salt Lake City. My friends work at the Ford School at Miller Motorsports Park.
Oh my God.
So, and I'll be filming for MTV for 3 days. We're doing the school. You want to come with me? I was like, wait, before the contest or after? No, I think we're going to do after. So you can stay in my hotel room. We share rooms. And then we just commute every day just to go there. I was like, what? Amazing. Let's go. So I drove my Evo from California to Salt Lake City. And then after the Dew Tour, I think at that Dew Tour, I got like 6th or 7th place, something like that. And then, which I was super happy, made some money. And then I was filming with Bucky Lasek, doing the racing school, like learning how to drive. So I was like, dude, I learned so much. It was like insane. Things that I didn't even think about.
Like true vehicle dynamics, true racing. Really. Because he drives, right?
He's good. Yeah.
Didn't he ride in WRC for?
Yeah, he competed in Axioms and all that.
Yeah.
As a rally driver. So he's super good. And then also the teachers on that school, they were like legit racers. And then we got to drive the full race car Mustangs and all that. So I was like, dude, that's the best experience of my life. Insane. I just couldn't get enough. So after that, I built my Evo 10 for time attack.
Yeah.
And I started doing time attacks, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like at Willow Springs, Fontana, Bottom Willow, and I even did Laguna Seca. And after like 2-3 years, I totaled the car at Laguna Seca. I went off track, totaled the car. Once again, insurance came through. And then I was like, I think it's time to step it up. I had the Evo 10 for like 4 years, 5 years almost. Let's buy the GTR. And I bought the GTR, because I already had the sponsors. And I took the Evo 10 twice to SEMA show.
Oh.
So I started building like this network on car industry.
Yeah.
So then I was like, cool, okay, if I get a GTR, I can bring everybody on board.
Yeah.
And mix it with the bike. And it's a huge marketing tool.
Right.
And it's a win-win. It's just going to be very expensive, but it's a win-win situation. I think I can, if I'm smart, I can make a lot.
How have you balanced that though? Because again, as you're telling this story, I'm so in and I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I can't believe you drove with Bucky Lasek. And I'm like, all of my like childhood, everything. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. But I'm also thinking at the same time, none of this was just like, oh yeah, accidentally, by the way, like you genuinely loved cars. You like did you yourself found the Evo. You did that. You kind of took these moments and steps to go further and deeper into cars. You learned how to drive. You did the time attack. My question there is, did you ever run into a struggle of trying to be great at two things? Because the amount of training to stay relevant and stay competitive in BMX must be insane.
Yeah.
And then racing seasons and the amount of money, resource, time putting in for the builds, like, was that a hard mix or no?
Not really, because for me, like going out to compete in time attacks, it's kind of like amateur thing. I never saw it like a full career. Like I didn't really have a team. I had the guys from the shop helping me out.
So it was more like if you weren't on a bike tour, if you weren't doing something BMX, you're like, oh cool, I have this month or this weekend.
It was always like 70% BMX, 30% car.
Okay.
24% car.
Yeah.
Even though, I was getting the sponsors with the tires, with the wheels, with the engine parts and this and that. And I was doing time attacks and creating content around it. It was as professional as I could be. I still think I didn't have the right car.
Yeah.
And I wasn't full cage or anything like that. So my next step was to move on to a full time attack car. But then I was like, dude, do I really want to do laps? laps and laps and laps and laps. It's fun. It's cool. It's challenging. And when I totaled the Evo, I totally because we didn't change the brake fluid. So I ran out of brake.
Brakes.
And I just flew through a corner. It wasn't my mistake.
Right. So you just go to hit brake at the apex and you're like, or
totally
after the turn, and you're just like, oh, and
so bad. Like the brake disappear. I pumped it 3 times straight to the wall, destroy the car. Long story short, but for me, I was like, this is not a career. This is not a BMX. I want something around. I don't know what it is. And then I found drifting. I started drifting with my Evo in the slippery grounds, and I loved it. I was like, this is sick. It's like hardcore, you know? But then I got the GTR, same thing, all-wheel drive. How do you drift this thing? I unplugged the front-wheel drive. Screw it. Just whatever happens, happens. Just take it out. And it worked.
Common theme in your life. Screw it. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, totally. No joke, dude. Good catch. And all of a sudden I started drifting GTR just for fun.
Yeah.
And then it was hard for me to go back to build a 240 SX while I have a GTR built rear wheel drive.
With so much power.
So much power. So you go to the track, have fun. I know it's not the right way to do it by any means, but I'm like, how the hell do you get motivation to go wrench on a car that's not going to move for a year because it needs so much work to be done, or go buy a $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, $7,000 drift car. I was like, crap, that's not gonna be the same.
Yeah,
my brain is wired different ways, so I need to build. I had a 240, and it was parked in my garage for 4 years. No engine, no, ready to build. Beautiful car, white body and everything. I was like, do I need to do something that triggers my brain?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This is the guy that had figured out 70-foot jumps and 16-foot airs. When he had a taste of 1,000 horsepower GTRs.
It did play against me at the moment when you have to like start from zero and start in a 200 to 300 horsepower drift car.
Yeah.
With like shitty used tires and like super simple and not really good looking because you're gonna crash it.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, this is not appealing. How I'm gonna start like that? So I've been trying to avoid that forever. And then I had the great idea of like, screw that. We just build something crazy. I want to build a car that's gonna keep me awake up until 6 a.m. and it's gonna wake me up next day at 9 a.m. so I can sleep 3 hours and build the car.
Like that excitement.
Yeah, that excitement.
Yeah.
So that's why, okay, screw it. I should just buy I called the guys I should just buy a GTR. And I called the guys from, the guys from Salt Lake City that wheel Cold Power. They do the Time Attack GTR. And they recently built the diesel engine GTR.
I don't know that. That's awesome.
So the team is called Life. Life Motorsports.
Okay.
And they have a lot of money and they build insane cars, and they've been touring around Time Attacks with a badass GTR.
Damn.
So
you hit them up and you're like, hey.
Dude, hey, I have a serious question to ask. I want to put Lexan windows on my GTR. He's like, what are you doing? Why would you even do that, bro? That's loud as hell. It's annoying. You can't even close the door and this and that. Don't do it to the GTR. Why don't you just buy a GTR? Why don't you just buy or chassis? What do you mean? Yeah, we have a chassis here. We have 2 actually. Because of COVID, we want to sell one. Why don't you buy one? I was like, oh, dude. That's a sensitive topic right there. Like, I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me think about it. I'll give you a call back. Then I called this dude at the shop. It's like, dude, I know you in your garage, you have 40 GTRs and you're constantly building engines and 3,000 horsepower, 2,500, 2,000, 1,500 engines. I got this crazy plan of building a badass, the only GTR in America at the moment that's capable of drifting with an VR38.
Right.
That only happens in Japan and in California, because in New Zealand they have a R35 with a VR38 drifting, and in England they have the monster car, which is the GTR with a Chevy engine. I think it's a V8.
Oh, right.
So
So
I'm
yeah,
like,
for the stock
so
motor.
okay, we're not gonna take any corners. We're just gonna build a full on like 1500 horsepower VR38 engine, GTR with GTR engine.
Is that the car that we did at your party at Race Service?
Yeah, it was incomplete. Like
Yeah, that was the
exhibition.
beginning of it.
The beginning of it, yeah. So
oh wow.
so I was like, okay, let's do that. And the shop was like, dude, that's sick. I love the idea. Something different for us. We like you. Let's do it. So the guys like dropped the full engine into the thing. I had to buy like pistons, rods, springs, and all that. Everything else, the owner, Ronnie, did it. He's the man and helped me out with the engine, helped me with the vision. He believed in all that. So insane. Dude. And then we were working there for 6 months. We made it to SEMA. We pushed it in, sadly. We pushed it in, pushed it out. And then we were supposed to continue working. And then I flew to Chile.
And that's okay. Well, but interesting, because my final question, or one of my questions that I had,
is the park
in Chile. Mm-hmm. And it's also representative of, I think, more of who you are as a person, because now here you are. And I could say that you made it. I know that you're continuously going to keep working and you're never going to be satisfied, and you're going to continue to put your X Games medals in the drawer with your silverware. But you came a long way from the $800 in Texas. Uh-huh. And I think it says a lot that you go back home and put this much time, resource, energy, work into putting a park in your hometown.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I know we've been talking for a while, so I'll try to make this short.
I mean, I'm locked.
But the city started the park in 98. Mm-hmm. I grew up riding the park.
Yeah.
And when I left the country, the park in 2003, so 5 years later, the park kind of got a little run down. The city discovered that, we built these ramps. Tony Hawk visited one time. It was a hit. Everybody loved it, but they require maintenance. So, okay, they did it 1 year. They did it 2 years. By the third year, like, the ramps had holes everywhere. And then my dad didn't do very good on his, like, dealership business, because he used to sell cars as I was older. Cars. Went bankruptcy, and then ended up like doing some production stuff with sports, even with BMX. So I, me and my little brother, 10 years younger than me, my brother, we were both into BMX. So my dad was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to the city. I'm going to tell them to give me the space, and I'll take care of the ramps. I'll put a little coffee shop and slowly start building it. So he did that. So from 2006, he built it. And every time I'll go there, we'll have demos, shows, competitions, and this and that. And he will get sponsored. Like everybody knew him. I didn't want to get too attached to that, because, I mean, he went bankruptcy in his last business. And I was like building this career so meticulously.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like him to come and fail on my industry.
Right.
So I was afraid of that. So I was like, I will be part of this, but I won't be like the biggest supporter at all.
Yeah, like you want him to be able to do it on his own. You don't want to be the person.
Shit, why don't you just freaking go do anything else? Why do you have to
He's all excited. He's all proud dad going too far.
Dude,
yeah.
He was totally proud of that. Totally.
Yeah.
So we were kind of in, but I was also in the States. So every time I go to Chile, I'll just be there. And then come back to the States, do my year training, competing, all that. In 2013, I win the world championship, and that year my dad passed away. He get a heart attack out of nowhere. Coco, your dad died. I mean, what do you mean? No, he can't be there right now. Yeah, he just died. Like, he got a heart attack. He's just dead. There's nothing to do. Like, the ambulance, nothing. There's nothing you can do. It's just dead. Are you serious? He died in like, yeah, we kind of find him in the morning dead. I was like, so there's nothing. It's just done. I was like, fuck, that's insane. So I flew home. Me and my family were like, so now what do we do with the park? I'm like, fuck, what do we do with the park? I want to do my life in the States and play with cars and ride bikes and this and that. And my brother is at the moment is like 13 years old. My mom works in a bank as a banker, and I'm like, shit. But then at that moment, kind of like God, I felt like God was telling me, like, dude, this is opportunity for you to finish what your dad started, and also to give back to the community.
Yeah.
Everything that BMX has given you at the moment.
Yeah.
So this is it. I was like, okay, perfect. That's fine. No more questions. I get it. Boom, boom. Like he hit me super quick. I figured out right away. Like I heard that and I was like, boom, done deal. Talked to my sponsors, to all my sponsors, but and I was like, I got this plan. We're gonna build a couple of ramps, fix this and that. Come be part of the park. So they wanted to be part of the park. They invested money yearly. The park started making a little bit of money. And 4 years later, I went back again and I was like, we should do a big opening. There's a X Games ramp for sale,
An X Games ramp for sale, word on the street. It's like an X Games ramp dealer. Like what a bird, funny,
bird. They came from Brazil. It was old Sandro Diaz ramp.
Oh my God.
That when Tony Hawk came to Chile, they didn't have a vert ramp to the show. They were going to build one, but they flake on it, right? So they were like, crap, where do we get a ramp now? Sandro Diaz goes like, dude, guys, I have one. It's like $120,000 if you want it. And the guys from the agency, they were like, cool, bring it, send it, we'll pay you, boom. So they pay the ramp. We do the show with Tony Hawk. Everybody's happy. They put the ramp on a garage. The ramp stays there for 4 years. No one knows what to do with it in Chile, right? And then after 4 years, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I should buy it for me so I can practice and so we can put it at the park.
No way.
So when I bought it, like I got a really good deal in it for me because I love vert, right? It's my thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously anybody else wouldn't even spend like no money on it, right?
Yeah, what do you do? But
for me, I was like, okay, maybe I can, with Red Bull and these companies, I can just build a show with Vans, Oakley, Canon cameras, and they will be down to do like photography schools with Canon and Vans to bring the legends like Caballero and those guys to do a show here.
Yeah.
And then Red Bull will be down to bring some Sandro Diaz here to do a show. So I developed my own vert show, the Coco and Friends.
Way.
And I was like, okay, let's do a Coco and Friends show. We do the opening of the park. Let's do it as nice as possible. This was recent, like 2019, 19.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I picked up the park in 13.
Yeah.
Then we fix it. And in 18, I was like, it's been 5 years now. Let's do something big. And I was like, I know the guys from Race Service, Donut Media guys, Race Service.
Yeah.
They just built an amazing facility, like a badass garage,
Yeah.
And I was like, we should get some references of how to build the park similar to that. And so I started talking to people. So we did what we could at the moment.
No way. So like Jacob and James and like OG Nico, like the core of beginning of Race Service was an inspiration for that.
Totally. Yeah,
no fucking way.
100%. Yeah, because I was it's so visual, so clean, aesthetics, everything. I love it. So I was like, yeah, let's put some work into that. Let's make it nice. And it worked out super nice. And we did the demo with Caballero came, Dennis McCoy, Simon Tabron. A couple of skaters. What other skater was Sandro Diaz and a few other guys? Mats, these guys from Europe. Long story short, we finished the park. Then a couple of years later, pandemic hit.
Right.
And then the park kind of like lost the sponsor, lost all the people. We didn't lose the sponsor. I was like,
nothing was happening.
Nothing's happening. Yeah. It's just closed. It's in a park similar to Central Park in Santiago.
Oh, okay.
Massive, huge park. In front, we have a mall. And on the other side, we have like this business area with brand new buildings. So we're in a super elite and nice premium location.
Yeah. And
the park is run down.
Yeah.
So, and the city was like, dude, you have to do something with it. Like now the pandemics, we just green light everybody at the park. After pandemic, we green light everybody, all the areas, sports, recreation, events, and restaurants, and everything inside the park.
Yeah.
So now come back and fix your park,
So that's why you were gone. You had to like come fix the park.
Yeah. So I went back thinking like, okay, fixing it was gonna take me a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I've had this plan of my idea of like tearing down everything and just rebuilding a bigger asphalt, new fence, having lights, LED lights all over the park.
Yeah.
Putting a new container, like a
Yeah.
custom handmade container into a pro shop
Oh yeah.
with like thick glass, bulletproof glass, and something like a bad at waterproof kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and do everything kind of brand new. And I was like, this is the moment. I have to do it. I have
Yeah.
to do it. And the city was like, dude, that's it. We can help you with the lights and with the asphalt and with the fence. It's like, dude, the fence is a lot. It was like 3 blocks of fencing. Like
Wow.
these small blocks I hear, it was like 3 of them, just massive. It was like 15 G's just to build a fence.
Oh my
And I
God.
was
Are
like,
you out there building too?
I help in some stuff, but not
Yeah.
not too much,
Okay.
because I
Okay.
try to, I like that. And also I hate it sometimes, but
Mhm.
I have to kind of like run the team,
Yes. Yeah.
be like the leader. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
to be cleaning or welding and doing things
Right. Your time is
while
better used running it. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it took 8 months to
Yeah.
rebuild the park. It grew 45%,
Wow.
and we got new sponsors. The park has never seen that much money before, so it's doing amazing. I had to hire people, so we got like 4 teachers, 5 teachers, 2 for skateboarding, 3 for BMX. We do classes for free every Sunday. Park is fully open, free for everybody. And then we have 2 administrators that they work part-time,
Mm-hmm.
just overseeing the park throughout the week. And we got 1 general manager that helps me with all the logistics while I'm here. So it's
Wow,
like
dude.
in 8 months, like we kind of did a lot. It was tiring though. I never thought it was gonna take that long.
That's like you and I
Because
have been talking so much on.
yeah, you told me like 3 months ago, dude, let's do an interview in a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
of weeks. I was
And
like,
you're like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
still out here, man.
And then I was like, dude, I'm missing so many things out in the States, like
Yeah.
summer, even
Yeah.
woodwork camp, summer camp out there, full, like 300 kids per week
Yeah.
that we get to hang out, we get to ride, film, train, everything.
Yeah.
It's gone, and everything's kind of like gone for this year, but it's fine because I was like,
It's such a bigger picture.
out of 21, yeah, exactly, 21 years of career, let's dedicate 8 months to just boost this project.
Yeah.
And then it's awesome because now I see the parents, they show up, dude. For Father's Day, we had the kids from the parents from the school jumping ahead, like killing themselves, like riding the bikes. And I was like, that's crazy. Like what we started it, because we started shoveling and cutting and tearing things down. Now the school is fully functioning.
Wow.
And parents love it.
Yeah.
Dude, parents are like, dude, what vans are those? Like,
No
oh,
way.
Hey, Coco, look at the wheels that I got. I'm like, dude, these guys are like kids.
No way.
Parents that if we didn't have the school, they will, I don't even know what they will do on Sundays with
Yeah.
the kids, so.
And isn't that cool to
Amazing.
think? Like, think back to like young you, like growing up in Chile, like you probably are giving more kids a chance to do something that you loved, like where you had to take this crazy risk and move to Texas and sell
Totally.
water filters. Like these kids can get real good at a park. And now, I mean, now there's the internet, so
On
you
a
can get
level.
discovered, but
yeah,
it's
no,
really special.
That's my purpose, is like to be able to help and give them a platform that I didn't have.
Yeah.
So I want them to have the platform as good as I can possibly build it, so they have no excuses.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe there's no more athletes coming out of Chile. So there must be. So I was like, okay, that's the goal. And then also I was like, okay, for first time ever, I'm going to build this into a business, like full business.
Yeah.
And also I'm going to build it with the same intention as I did the GTR. So,
Oh, wow.
so I was like, okay, so a couple of things like kind of like clicked.
I also hear like a really wonderful, I was going to say businessman, but it's maybe not even so much money driven. I think your understanding of marketing and strategy is beautiful. Like now, after having doing so many projects, I think you have a really great mind for putting together like, oh, well, you could get sponsors to get interested in this, or you could connect this piece to this, or if I'm interested in this, like that's a really beautiful
Connecting
skill.
things.
Yeah, a connector.
Yeah, but
And-
not the regular way. There's always like another way of connecting things.
Yeah.
Like, what would you charge kids to go to skate park? Charge the companies
Right.
and let them go for free.
Yeah.
You will have more people, and the companies are going to happily pay more just to have more people there. So that was like kind of like a cool thing to get. But I guess any business has a few different A, B, C, D, E sites, and you can approach.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like your education of life, like you have skills that so many people would go to college for and wish to get opportunities to do. And it's all come from you full sending it. Like it's not been traditional education. It's just also necessity and you learning as you go and putting it together.
A lot of people think like, yeah, we're self-made, but no one really is self-made. We're made by circumstances, by people that got put in our way. And we learn from, like, I learned a lot from Jacob at Race Service. He helped me a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
Really?
Dude, a lot.
He's one of those people that I don't think he gets enough credit. I think that he said something to me so beautiful where he's like, there's a lot of gatekeepers in the world. He's like, I like to think of myself as a gate opener. And I really think he does that. Like, I think that you have to be a good person. He's a really good BS radar. But if you are a good person, he is that person that like really will help and pay it forward. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but I know him for a long time. And I met him when he was manager for Twerk.
Wow.
Back in the day. And I was like, dude, be a manager for me.
Wow. Yeah.
But he was not in the sports or my area. But I don't know. For some reason, he was so nice and kind. We connected really well. And then our paths started crossing along the way. But he always believed in me. I guess with some people, you just clicked better than with others.
Yeah.
You know, but the team at RS, like him, Andy, and James, and the rest of the crews, have always been like super supportive. And I admire what they do. And I think it relates to like what I do with the park, what I do with the events.
Yeah, that was so cool.
I ended up doing my own events at the park too. Like I had to do my show with the athletes and bringing athletes from the States to Chile and vice versa, and with the cars not yet. I mean, with the cars with you guys, the events. But it's like copy-paste.
That was special though.
It was cool. I liked it. For me, it was awesome, dude. It was sick.
Yeah.
But all of you guys helped, you know. So it was just not me. It was just you guys basically putting together.
I didn't know that was such a rad part of your story, or like that Jacob was such a part of your story and that inspiration with Race Service. And I don't know, it's cool for me, like really, like moments like this, conversations like this are so exceptional and so cool because these to me are the people like Bucky, you know, like some of the people you've mentioned were like the biggest inspirations as a kid. So to sit down and to learn these stories with you and to hear what you did, it's this beautiful reminder that people are people, and it's as simple as loving your craft and treating people right. Totally. And you're such a beautiful example of that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then I guess a lot in our industry is super pure. It feels like, you know, like you said, you can tell right away when someone is full of BS or when someone is successful. And when you get to know that successful person, there's always like a great human behind it most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's cool, you know, it's cool that in the sports you run into so many good people. A lot of people ask me, is like, dude, what's up with your language? Is it kind of difficult for you to develop yourself as an athlete out there? I'm like, no, dude, like honestly, through BMX or through car or through skateboarding, is like we're just humans.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter anything where you come from, your gender or whatever, your color, skin color or anything. It's just all that matters. Like we all of us
something together.
Something together, exactly.
You just articulated that so much better than I ever have, because for me, growing up, building cars, going to skate parks, I felt that as well, where it was like, it didn't matter skin color, it didn't matter who you were, where you came from, anything. There was never like a barrier. It was just like, oh, we love the same thing. Cool. Let's hang out. Let's talk about it.
Totally.
Let's go skate. Let's go build this.
Whether you have or you don't have money is like,
doesn't matter.
That nothing really matter.
Nothing. It was only the love. If the love was real for the thing that everyone was doing, everyone was brought together.
That will be the bond.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's just, again, like that full circle moment that you're providing that, and especially back home, that's now a spot where who knows the people you're going to bring together. There could be a whole new generation of pros and people that come out of you keeping that park going.
No,
that's special.
And I see that too, like at the park also, we try to give roles to kids.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, this dude comes every day. Now he's homie with everybody. He's really good at talking. You know what? Grab a crew of kids. You guys are going to be painting. You guys want to ride all year here?
Yeah.
You freaking painting now. Here's like 10 brushes. Good. You get to paint. The kids will start painting. Do a big mess. And then they're like, dude, guess what? The cool kid running his mouth doesn't even know how to paint. I'm gonna show you how to paint. This is how you paint. And some kids don't even know how to use the broom or a paint roller or things like that. So it's kind of cool. Like I'm like, in a way, I'm like, crap, we're teaching them things that they won't even learn at home.
Yeah.
So in a way, I'm a leader and a role model, but also a teacher. So I'm trying to teach these kids from like the professionals to like the semi-pro amateurs, and even the little guys, different things. So I think it's a cool environment. Like I like to spend time there because there's nothing better in life than giving. Denzel Washington said in one of his speeches, like, giving is like one of the most selfish things you can do in life because it feels so good. The gratification you get from it is amazing. So that's why it's one of the best things to do in life. Just give, and then you can never get enough.
That's really
And I think
beautiful.
that's the whole point of like building the park.
Yeah.
And if you do it right, it will provide money for everybody, for the kids to have a badass ramp, for me to continue working hard on that, and then for any necessity we have.
Dude, that is so beautiful. What a great way. I mean, I was going to say, did I miss anything? I'm sure I missed things. Your career has been full of everything. But like, this was really, really rad for me. I feel like that's such a rad thing to talk about and moment in time in life right now.
I would say just one more message to people, just to be motivated, be focused, be driven, and have faith. Because a lot of the time we just don't pursue our dreams just because we have lack of faith. And I think when you have that feeling on your guts, and it is in your mind, it's in your heart, there's no doubt that you should not pursue that with faith. And sometimes we fail, sometimes we don't have people around us. So surround yourself with faithful people. That's key. That's super important. And then that helps you see that vision and also increase the level of faith to the next level.
Yeah. Wow.
That's my best advice.
Damn it. That's
I'll
good.
even take it every day, dude. That's like everyday pill you have to take.
Yeah.
Because we forget.
It's funny, like on a selfish thing, even with this podcast, it's like, now we have this conversation forever. And I remember how this makes me feel. And like, if I ever have that day where I don't feel as much faith, I can go back and be like, I remember how Coco make me feel.
This is fast forward to the end.
Yeah. Like, give me this chunk and we're good. But it's really cool. Like, I don't know. Like, thank you for sharing that. It's something that I think we could never hear enough of. And I love that you have that message.
Our brain or hard wires are so hard to remove and fix. And I think the only way to rewire it is just adding these different or better habits,
Yeah.
And I think having faith constantly is just a matter of practicing it and just turning it into a habit.
That is so beautiful.
For sure.
That is a great place to leave it. Bro, thank you. This was so rad. We finally did it.
I'm glad we connected. Yeah.
I love it.
It's been between 2 to 4 months. I don't even remember anymore.
I don't care, dude. It was meant to be.
Worth it.
The timing was now, and it was meant to be. Thank you.